Bold Vikings offseason predictions. All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus, and in an offseason to get bold moves, I think this is the one where we're going to be shitting our pants.
Yeah, he got a defensive side of the ball. It needs to make a ton of changes. Aging stars, not even just aging, but expensive stars on the offensive side of the ball. Kwesi Adofamento, new GM. A lot of money you have to create to cut guys and move guys. So a lot of crazy things could be happening here.
Yeah, we have new everything. Before we get into that, remember, subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Let's get to 6,000. Even closer. We're even closer than we were yesterday. Let's do this. Hit that button.
We really are. We're closing in. I can almost sniff it out, and it's starting to smell pretty damn good.
All right. Well, you start us off. What's your number one bold prediction? And let's remember, these are bold predictions. So, I mean, they might get a little hairy, just like Lupagus with his shirt off. Also, your bold predictions in the comments. No, you get tons of hair.
Mostly between the tits is where I'm the most hairiest. All right, so let's. I'm gonna go with my. I don't know. It's the least bold. Maybe just it's more general bold. I'm gonna say the Vikings. Everybody's concerned about how much money they have to spend. They have no cap space right now. I'm gonna say Vikings will sign one big name free agent.
All right, there you have it. I got one that's a little more detailed, I guess, but I'll give mine right away then. So I think they will get a starting cornerback in free agency, a name that nobody is really expecting. Like, holy shit, I can't believe they got him. But Rob Brzezinski works his magic once again. I mean, there's Darius Williams, Dante Jackson. There's going to be a name where we're going to be like, wow, we just got a starting cornerback in free agency.
Yeah, and that's the one position where this should happen is at cornerback. The Vikings are so damn thin right there right now. You go into the season with Cam Dancer and potentially Chris Boyd as your starters is horrifying. And you really don't want a rookie being one of those starters either. So if you can sign a big name free agent who can come in and start, that is huge. And they did it last year. The Vikings really didn't have any cap space. They bring in some big name guys, so it didn't really pan out. Let's hope they have better success this year. But I could definitely see them spending some money on someone, more money than anybody thinks they have.
Yeah, and it's not so much bold that they need help on defense. The boldness and the girth of this is that it's going to be a big name and a contributor.
To cost some money.
Cost some cheddar. I'll give my next one. This one, I think Sheldon Richardson's coming back. I think they're going to re-sign him. He's 31 years old. He fits his defense wonderfully. Put him out defensive end. I love it. He's still putting up numbers. When you look at his production last year, still very, very, very good. 4 sacks, and they were moving him all around the place. So Sheldon Richardson going to be re-signed.
Yeah, I think this really depends on Sheldon Richardson. I think he's going to actually be one of these guys who can kind of pick where he wants to play to a degree. Does he want to come back to Minnesota, a team that, they're not saying it's a real rebuild, but it certainly looks like it is a rebuild. I don't know if he wants to play, he's getting up there in age. Maybe he wants to go to a contender, so we'll see what he wants to do there. But yeah, you're right. Perfect fit for this defense. And the Vikings are going to probably keep some of these guys, which actually goes to my second prediction as well, very similar to yours. But I said the Vikings, I went a little more bold here. I named 2 guys they're going to keep. I'm going to say they're going to re-sign Patrick Peterson and Tyler Conklin.
Conklin. Oh, I almost had him on my list for being bold, so I'm all on board with that. Patrick Peterson, man, he'd have to lower that price than he did last year, but I'd be all for it. Conklin, when you really look at it, the free agent tight ends out there, it is thick. He might be one of those guys like, damn it, this is not the year to be a free agent. I'm coming back for a year, then I'll do it again.
Yeah, a couple things here. I was looking at that as well. I look at these tight ends. I think I was Googling the top 150 free agency NFL, and there was literally 30 of them were tight ends. They didn't even mention Tyler Conklin. There's a ton of guys out there. Bad time for Tyler Conklin to be a free agent. We all thought he'd be overpriced for us to resign, but he may test the market and not find what he was looking for and come back to a familiar territory, which I think Kevin O'Connell would love to utilize this guy. Same with Patrick Peterson. He might go out there, see what's out there, might not like what he sees, and just comes back here to at least have some locker room that he's familiar with.
Yeah, and Conklin, he could also, on the other side of that, be the guy that someone just really takes a flyer on because they've seen what he's done in such a short amount of time. So, Conklin, I can't wait to see what happens with him. So excited.
Yeah, me neither. It's going to be exciting to see where he ends up, and hopefully it's still here. My last one, I'm going to say the Vikings are going to acquire another first-round pick before the draft.
I had that one on my list, too.
Damn it.
I got backups. Don't worry. That one didn't make the cut, but I believe it. I believe it.
Well, you look at who they could move. They could move Kirk Cousins, Dylan Hunter, Adam Thielen, Delvin Cook, Harrison Smith, Eric Kendricks. There's just a ton of guys. And, maybe it's a package. It doesn't have to be, one of these guys. I don't think, these older vets are going to get you a first-round pick. But a couple of those guys could get you a first-round pick. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, first draft, having 2 first-round picks would be huge. And especially look at the way this draft is. If you can get a corner early, an edge rusher late, in the first round, that would be sweet. Or maybe one of those guards that's kind of fringy. That would be huge for the Vikings. So you can get 2 potential starters if you do land 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, if it's to me, it comes down to Daniil Hunter would have to be the guy that gets you that first-round pick. Not that I would want that to happen, but it'd almost have to be him. And my last one kind of goes along these themes that he's definitely not getting a first-round pick, but I think Adam Thielen gets dealt. I think he's gonzo. I think we could see multiple guys gone, but this one just makes the most sense to me. 32 years old. He's going to be 32 when the season starts. Signed for 3 more very expensive years. I think the compensation that we get for him will not match what we think we should get for him. I think it'll just be one where they just want to move on and get rid of that and go with a more. Look at Kevin O'Connell. Look at that offense. They got very dynamic wide receivers in that offense. And Thielen, while he's still fantastic, if they get a chance, I think they move him.
I don't think Kevin O'Connell mentioned Thielen by name in his press conference. Not that has a whole lot to do with it, but it is something worth noting. Yeah, Thielen, you hate to see him go. He's a guy who did it the right way, worked his way up from a Minnesota State boy through the invite thing they have, kind of the open contest. So maybe he gets a Disney movie down the road. But you got to think, for that price tag, his age, still a damn good receiver, but he's just going to cost way too much. And I think you ship him to a contender and see what you can get.
Maybe goes somewhere, gets that beautiful ring, comes back home.
Maybe, it'd be great if he would get it here, but I don't think that's going to happen. And Kevin O'Connell, he'd love to work with Thielen, I'm sure, but you look at who else you got here. KJ Osborne, obviously Justin Jefferson, Mir Smith-Marset, you draft another guy. You still got a pretty decent receiving core there, especially when you look at what they used in LA after the top 2 guys. Jeff Sawarnick was getting some run, Ben Jefferson, rookie too. So they use all their weapons. So this is an offense that we could see, even the 5th receiver getting some targets.
All right, those are bold predictions. One I didn't put in there, I almost put it in there, was we're going to see an old face return. Whether it's Cordero Patterson, maybe even a Mike Hughes coming back to a new Vikings. He had a good year.
Yeah.
Anything's possible. See a familiar face come back.
Yeah, I had one more. We're going to hit 7K subscribers by draft day.
Wow, that's quite the task, but we'll take it.
Hell yeah, that would be sweet. So let us know your bold predictions when in terms of the free agency here, and drop them in the comments. Can't wait to see what you guys think. And remember this: lobsters communicate by peeing on each other's heads.